Version 16.5. I'm going to go through the new features, but first of all, I'm going to do a quick start. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to do is go to the Courses tab, and you'll create a brand new course. So I'll just say this is Algebra, and I'll click Save. If you want to add a new course, click the green button. Delete is from the bottom up. The blue button is to save. This black button right here is Export Import. I don't have a sync set up just yet, but if you want to work on multiple computers, you can export here to your download file. Then you can email the file to yourself, and then you will choose that file on your second computer and import it. All right. So that's it for the Courses tab, very easy. Now let's go to the Rooms tab. That's the main focus. So in the Rooms tab, I choose my class, Algebra. I'm going to do the simplest example. I'm going to create a main room. I'm going to create 3 breakout rooms. There's 3 different kinds of links you can create: a URL, a code, or a nickname. The URL is what I'll show you right now. This is the Meet URL. These are static. They never change. And it's the easiest one to work with. The code is basically this 343 at the end. A nickname is any name you want. You can just put this in here, but I got to tell you, if you want to use nicknames, you need to use a Google Suite account, otherwise it won't work. But let's continue on with the statics. All right, so here we go. There they are. Now let's go to the Meet. And we're going to go ahead and start it up so you can check what your account is. You want to create and use your links all in the same account. This tells you what it is. Your account right here is really your default account. It's the very first one that you create, you open your Google accounts with. So you can have multiple Google accounts, but the very first one you log into is going to be your default account. And that's what this one is. If it's not the one you want, then you click right here, and then you can delete, sign out, and then sign back in again. But this is what I want. All right, so this is very important. All right, now we're going to go to starting the class. I got my algebra here. I chose 3. Okay, so make sure you choose the right number right there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pretend that I'm teaching the class right now. So I'll start off in the main room. I'll just open it up. Just let the extension take care of everything. So it's opening up right now. You'll notice that you'll have a speaker button right here. I added this speaker button, so it's automatically synced if you open everything up through the extension. So you can just turn that off right there. Turn it on. You can turn on your microphone. You can turn on your video. All right, and away you go. All right, so let's just say that you've got some students in the class. Let me go ahead and create some real quick. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go create some using the incognito mode. I think this won't work unless you have a Google Suite account, the incognito mode, but I'm using this as a convenience. So I'm going to go here. I'm just going to create a few, and I'll just say, I'll just say this is going to be John, and then I'll create another one, and this is going to be Sally. All right, and I'm doing this in the simulation mode, just simulating students just to show you how this would work. Then we'll say Jennifer. Let me just create a few more. And then I'll say this is Lucy. And then let me just create still some more. And then I'll just say this is going to be Jason. All right, and then I'm going to say this one here is going to be Amanda. And then I'll create another one. And I'll say this is Zach. Let me just create 2 more. All right, so this is Becky. And add one last one here. And we'll say this is Trista. Okay, great. So these are my simulated students. I'm going to put this away. All right, so now you can see they're all right here. Now, if the way the extension works is it's what you see is what you get. You need to be able to see all these students here in order for them to show up down here. All right, so where did I click on? I clicked on this right here, Assign Breakouts Ad Hoc Mode. All right, so down here, there they all are. The reason why you see them is because you're able to view them in this layout here. If you don't see all your students in this layout, there's a couple things you could do. You could change your layout right here. Where did I click on the bottom right hand side? Some people call this the snowman. It's the 3 dots. You'll change your layout. You want your layout to be in the tiled mode. If it's not in the tiled mode, let's say the spotlight mode, well, actually, I have an extension going on which is overriding this, but you want to put this in the tiled mode just to be on the safe side. Now, if you have more than 16 students, you're going to need to use an extension, and the extension I recommend right here is this one. It's the Grid Meet Google Meet Grid View parentheses fix. All right, so if you don't know what that is, I have a note right here, and it tells you one of these. It tells you how to get that extension. Okay, so but I see all my students right here, so I'm going to randomly assign them. So I click on random. I could click, just move them around automatically. I could actually move people together in the same room together. So I know Jennifer and Lucy are good friends, so I'll just swap them out. I'll put them there. All right, so now I'm in good shape. So this is a step 1, step 2, and step 3. You can't, in this extension, you can't push students into it. What you can do is you can give them links and they can click on it. So this is the very first step right here. We said that these are the breakouts we want. We're not done yet. We have to do steps 2 and 3. So it says just follow the instructions here. Step 2 and 3 says click here. All right, so we're going to do that. All right, so right here it says copy the links. Click here, so we'll just do that. All right, so I'll paste it right here. All right, so what this does is it says these are the rooms, and this is the address for all the different rooms. I have a room 1, room 2, room 3. These are the addresses for them. All right, now step 3 is the second half of the story. It says, okay, who goes where? So I'm going to also paste that in the chat. And away we go. All right, so let's just take a look at this. This chat goes to everybody. Everybody sees this. So John and Amanda and Sally, they all know that they're in room 1, and this is the address for room 1. Zach, Jennifer, Lucy's in 2. Jason, Trista, and Becky are in 3. All right, so that's how it works. If you have a lot of students or a lot of breakout rooms, you'll exceed this 500 character limit. Just follow the instructions. You'll have to copy and paste in a couple goes. All right, so that's what that is. All right, so we're in good shape. We assigned the breakouts. The students aren't there yet. Now, let's go ahead and open the breakouts because they're going to go there real soon. Probably I should have done that in advance, but all right, so I'll go ahead and open up the breakouts right now. So it's really pretty easy. Just click on that, opens the breakouts. Now, the next step is I'm going to retile it. All right, so it's all retiled. I'm going to click on the retile is this red one right here. It says retile. And then once I'm done, I'm going to click this button right here, the far right-hand side. That's going to minimize this control panel. All right, so I'm just going to put it somewhere around the middle. The students aren't there yet. Why? Because they haven't clicked on the link yet. So let me go to my simulated students, and here they are. All right, so I'm just going to go through these one by one. All right, so I'm just going to go through this, and this first person here is John. All right, so John's in room 1, so he's going to click on that, and I'm just going to say, I'm John. Your students will do this. All right, now I'm going to go to the next person. The next person is Sally. So Sally sees that she is in room 1. She's going to click on that too. It takes her in there. I'm just typing in her name, Sally, because I'm working in the incognito mode. And I probably need to turn that off, otherwise I'm going to get feedback. All right. The only reason you're getting you would get feedback in the simulated mode is because you have both the students and the teacher on the same computer. Normally you wouldn't have any feedback. All right, so we're going to go here. The next person is Jennifer. All right, so here we go. Jennifer is in room 2. Jennifer. I'm going to go all through all these because it's important to see this. All right, so we're going to go to the next person, and this next person is Lucy. All right, so Lucy here is in room 2. But Lucy and Jennifer actually are good friends, but let's just say they had a fight. Lucy doesn't want to go there, so she's going to intentionally go to the wrong room. So she's going to go to room 3. All right. Lucy and Jennifer are good friends. They never fight. Okay. I'm just using this as an example. Oops. Because in an actual teaching environment, sometimes the students will just go to whatever room they feel like it, or maybe they'll go to multiple rooms. All right. So then we're going to go to the next one, and this is Jason. Jason is in room 3. I'll show you reports where you can identify students that aren't going where they're supposed to. All right, we're going to go to the next one is Amanda. So Amanda is in room 1, so we're going to do that. Great. All right. Next one is Zach, and Zach is room 2. This part goes really well. I've never had a problem with students not knowing where to go, but I was teaching university students, so it could be different with children. All right, Becky. Becky is room 3. And then we're going to go to the last one here. Trista, where is Trista? Trista is room 3 also. I'm going to add one more right now. All right, and this is going to be John's friend. Now let me go take a look here. I forgot where these. Okay, so John is in room 1. So let's just say John on social media just emails his friend, says, "Hey, come join me in room 1." All right, so even if you have nicknames which are limited to the same organization, if they're both students in the same school, they can hop in, right? As if John gives them the actual meet URL. All right, so let's just say John friend just jumps in. Now we know what this. Let me just. Well, okay, I'm just going to simulate it. So let's just say John's friend knows that link, so he's going to put that in there. I'm going to put John's friend here. And that could be a problem, obviously. All right, so let's just go I'm going to take a look at this. All right, so let me, first of all, I want to show you how you can navigate around. So you can see the buttons right here: speaker, microphone, video. You could turn them on right here. You could turn them on right there. You got this microphone, video right here, so you can see a little thumbnail of myself. You hear the feedback because I've got the students and the teachers all on this one computer, so they feedback into each other. But in a normal situation, you should not have that. So let's go ahead and navigate around. So I'm going to turn the video on, and let me see if I can turn this on. No, I can't, because I have the students in the same computer here. All right, so I'll just do this microphone speaker, so you can hear the conversations going on, and then you can go to the next room and the next room. You can see the buttons and so on. All right, so at this point, I want to let you guys know that there was a problem, and hopefully I fixed this right now in this version 16.5 about the speaker button. Now, the people were hearing some feedback and so on, and sometimes they turn on the speaker, they couldn't hear what the students were saying. It was intermittent. It was very difficult to nail down. So I think I got that fixed here in 16.5, but I'm not 100% sure. So what you guys could do to help me out is I planted an Easter egg. All right, this is in Computer Talk. This is an Easter egg. So this is a temporary thing that you can take a look at and help give me feedback. You can send me an email and so on. So all you do if you want to see whether or not the speaker is misbehaving or not, just click right here where you see it says copy to clipboard. That's an Easter egg. So just click on that. You'll get this pop-up right here. Now this actually polls. It asks for me Chrome browser. And the Chrome browser just told me back here, in the main room, the speaker is muted. Room 1, it's muted. Room 3, it's muted. Room 2, it's muted. Room 3, it's not. Okay, so that should everything should match up. Okay, so I laid this Easter egg for you. I planted this Easter egg for you. Happy Easter early. All right, because I need your help to help me diagnose this problem. It could be another extension. It could be something totally unrelated, but I need to be able to identify, is it my extension or not that's causing this problem? So this Easter egg right here tells me what's really going on inside Chrome, and Chrome is telling me these are the settings. Okay, so I want to show you. This is just temporary, but I just want to do that because it's been a problem for some people, and I want to fix it. All right, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and navigate around. So we're oh, sorry. Ooh, what happened? Okay, there we go. All right, so we're in the main room, room 1, room 2, room 3, back to main again. All right. If you click on the button itself, you can. Okay, so let me move this over here. If you click directly in the room, you can. That'll turn it on and off as well for the speaker button. Now, I encourage everybody just to please try to use the control panel. It just makes things a lot more consistent. And so here you go. Now, at some point, you're going to want to close down the breakouts, but let me show you one thing here, which is convenience. A lot of people ask for this for a long time. It's the timer. Okay, so here's the way the timer works. You just click on this middle button right here. Here's the timer, and you could just say, okay, I want to go for 5 minutes. I'll say 5 minutes and 10 seconds because I want to show you something. So here we go. You turn on the timer, and it starts off in blue, but once it drops below 5 minutes, it's going to turn pale yellow color. All right, that's just a visual reminder to yourself. All right, so there it's pale yellow color. Now another key breakpoint was at 1 minute. So I'll just make this 1 minute. And this is a reminder to yourself. See, it's pale yellow. Once it drops below 1 minute, you'll hear a chime, and this will turn deep yellow. Now, this chime is only for you as the teacher. You can hear this. It's just a reminder for yourself. It's like dun, 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 and you'll hear the last part of the chime once you get down to 0. This timer is pretty self-explanatory. Just play around with it. I think you'll... All right, there you go. All right, so there you have it. And I'm going to say reset. Okay, so here we all are. We're doing really well. It's time's up. Actually, at the 1 minute mark, you may want to do a broadcast. And you may want to, you may want to talk to the students and broadcast. Let me turn this speaker off. So you may want to broadcast to your students and say, hello everybody, what's going on? We're gonna let's go ahead and wrap up. We got 1 minute left. Okay. And then when this is broadcast, when you're done broadcasting, you can click on this button again to turn it off. Or if you're in the broadcast mode right here, you can just do a right arrow and then go to the next room. And I usually keep the speaker on. Okay. So here you go. You go to the next one and the next one. Yeah, so it seems to be working well. Okay, cross my fingers. All right, so I do want your help here. If you could just click on that and just make sure everything's going the way you would expect it. So we're saying room 2, the speaker is not muted. It's not logic. It's not muted, which means that it's on. And then these are all muted, so that means that they should be red. Okay, and they all are. Okay, so hopefully this will eliminate the crosstalk and so on. But if you do have crosstalk and you look at this and you say, hey, actually all the rooms are muted except for one, that helps me out tremendously because that way I know that it's not my extension. It's not my extension because I'm doing what Chrome is saying is going on here. All right, so let's hope this is all fixed. Okay, so now we're ready to go. We're ready to wrap things up. I did the broadcast microphone, and I said, hey everybody, let's go back to the main room. Now you may notice that everybody is also in the main room at the same time. All right, you could do that. Just make sure that when the people are in this main room that they're muted, and you could handle that pretty easily right here. You could say mute everybody in the main room. mute everybody in the main room. Actually, I usually keep that speaker on there. Okay, mute everybody in the main room. So it's going to go down that list. If anybody has their microphone on, then they will be muted. So mute all in the main room. These are all self-explanatory. Mute everybody in the breakouts, mute everybody everywhere, and so on. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and ask people to go back. But before we do that, I really want to show you these reports because I think these are super handy. So the report right here for students is this. It helps you monitor the students' activity. First of all, you see that all the students. It tells you whether or not they're in the main room. Now, see, some of these people may drop off. Like, say, Amanda, she may just exit out of the main room, and she just goes to her breakout room. That's fine. This would say there's an N here, so Amanda's not there anymore. All right, so let me prove that to you. I'll just pick somebody at random here and have them leave. Let me see if I can find Amanda. It's not really critical. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to say Becky leaves, but I want to make sure Becky is in the main room, and Becky's leaving the main room. So let's take a look. The main room is MIJ. Okay, so let me make sure. Yeah, that is MIJ. That's Becky right there. I'm going to have her drop off. She's just going to leave. She's going to leave the main room. Okay. So when you see that, she's going to be gone there. I'm going to click and look at my student list. Amanda still exists. Oh, Becky, yeah. Becky still exists, but she has an N right here from the main room. She's no longer in the main room, but she's doing a good job. She's in the actual breakout room, and that's where she was assigned. Okay. Let me just change things around a little bit. So Becky, she's doing what she's supposed to, but let's just say that I'm just going to change this up a little bit. So suppose Becky was really supposed to be in room 2. I could just run that report again. And then Becky would get a red line because it'd say, hey, she's actually in room 3, but she's supposed to be in room 2. Why? Because we have that right here. So let me put it back because she was doing a good job to begin with. All right, so there she is. And I'll just run that report again. All right, there she is. But we do have a problem with Lucy, right? See, Lucy's supposed to be in room 2, right? But she's in 3. How do we know that? See, excuse me, Lucy's over here. She's assigned in room 2, but where is she in actual fact? She's in room 3. We can see that right there. Okay, so this report is super handy. It's just really, really handy to see what's going on here. And then we have an interloper, John's friend. John got on social media. He texted his friend. He said, hey, come on in here. John was never in the main room. Yeah, he's got an N there, but he just snuck into the actual breakout room, right? So he's in there, but he doesn't have an assignment, right? Now, you could have some the other situations too, like somebody was assigned to a room, but they never went. All right, so let me see if I can find somebody that's in a breakout room and make them not go to I'll find that example for you. So let's see, MIJ. I'm looking for something that's not an MIJ. All right, so who is this? This person is Trista. So let me just take Trista out. So this would be an example of Trista was assigned a room, but she didn't go. So yeah, there she is. She was assigned room 3, but she didn't go there. All right, so this is very useful. You can get all kinds of combinations of things that are going wrong. Somebody was assigned to a room, they didn't go there. You got an interloper that came in that was never assigned to a room. You got somebody going to the wrong room because that's where their friend is, or maybe they just didn't like the person in their room. But yeah, like I said, Jennifer and Lucy, they're really good friends. Okay, so all right, let's that's for the reports on the student side. Let me push this to the back. All right, so you had the similar report for the rooms. It's just organized differently. It's organized by rooms. You'll probably find the student report more useful, but you may find this one useful on occasion. So I gave you both of them. So this is organized by rooms. So you can say, how are my rooms doing? How are my rooms doing? So room 1's doing really well, but hey, we got this interloper. John's friend came in. All right, and then room 2 is okay, but we're missing Lucy. See, Lucy was assigned, but she didn't show up. And then we have Becky. Jason's fine. Lucy, she went to 3 and she was never assigned there. And then we also have a problem. Trista was supposed to go to room 3, but she's not. All right, so those are the 2 new reports here for version 16.5. And that's pretty much it. So I went over the mute. Let me go ahead and remove people. I'll close this down. Control W is going to close it down. You'll get used to these keyboard shortcuts. Control W is super handy. Command or Control T will open up a new tab, and the Command or Control L will go ahead and highlight the address bar. Command or Control L highlights the address bar. All right, so we talked about mute. We talked about I want to show you remove. So breakouts are over. We heard the chime. We're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and remove everybody from all the breakouts. I'm going to do that right now. Just let the extension do everything. It goes through the pop-up window, and it answers the question for you. All right, there we go. We got one more left to go. Okay, good. Now at this point, we're ready to hang up. So let's see. This should say breakouts are over. Oh, hang up. Oh yeah, breakouts are over. Yes, hang up all breakouts. Good. Command or Control W is going to get rid of the windows if you don't want them. All right. Now, next step is we're ready to finish up the class. We're going to wrap up the class. So the first thing you'll do is go ahead and remove everybody. Well, normally people will leave on their own. You'll say, okay, class is over, and they leave. Likewise with the breakouts, I would advise you as a teacher to say, okay, please go back to the main room. But there's going to be some people that forget or whatever, and then you can automatically remove them. All right, so that's it, and we're down to the last person, and then we'll just go ahead and hang up. All right, and there we go. All right, so that's a very quick overview of 16.5. Let's see, I went over the rooms tab. Oh, one thing I want to show you is Google Classroom. So let's say you're running Google Classroom, and a lot of people are. This is algebra. I'll show you an example of this. All right, what you do is you highlight this whole thing right there, and you'll copy it in. You'll see something kind of miraculous happen. All right, you'll say, whoa, I copied the whole thing in. How come just that last bit got saved? The reason why is that last bit is really what I care about. That last bit is the nickname. This whole prefix is just confusing, irrelevant, and I saw that it was confusing a lot of teachers. They're putting in, I just want to simplify this. So a nickname is just a nickname. It's only a nickname, no prefix whatsoever. You could paste in this whole thing, and then the extension will strip it out, because the only thing I care about, or the only thing the extension cares about, is the nickname. All right, so that's it. So a nickname is a nickname. That's all it is. Now the code is the 343. I know that maybe you say, hey, I want to highlight this thing, but it's not working for me. All right, let me show you a couple of tips here. Do a triple click, 1, 2, 3. It's going to highlight everything. The reason why I have it like this is so you can easily move it around. But the downside is you're not able to highlight links. So I'm going to give you some tips here. 1, 2, 3, click, highlights everything. You could delete it. If you want to get rid of everything to the left, put your cursor where you want it. Do a shift or command, delete, and then it'll get rid of everything to the left. And then and then what remains is this 343 code, right? So there it is. So it's close to the purple. I did that intentionally because these are really just two sides of the same coin. These are both static links. It just might be easier for you to enter this. I need the spaces. I need the dashes. Don't take out the dashes. If you take out the dash, then I can't. I'm going to say it's a nickname because I can't tell the difference. All right. So I need the dash. I need a 3-4-3 for it to be a code. All right. So that's a nickname. That's a code. We talked about URLs. If you have any questions, click right here. I'll try to lay it out as best I can. All right. One other thing is a URL could also be a resource page. It could be a Wikipedia page, a YouTube, whatever you want. For your teaching material, you can add that here. Now, let's see, I covered this. One other thing is source of confusion. Some teachers were just saying, okay, maybe I'll just put a nickname here. I'll just say Robbie1. Okay, and then they want to click save. And so I put an edit check in here. All rooms need a name. All rooms need a name. All right, so I put that edit check in here. I put a lot of edit checks in here. Like some people were typing in like g.co/meet, and then they'd say, hello. Okay, so I don't need any prefix. All right, so that the whole thing about the prefix for the nickname was messing people up, and so I put edit checks in there. If you put a g.co/meet, I know it's a nickname, so anything after that, before that I strip it out, and then you'll get the nickname the way you want it. That's about it here. There's some other edit checks I put in place here. I just don't want people to accidentally mess up and cause any frustrations, because I want this to be as smooth as possible. All right, so we went over the meet. We went over, well, one thing I want to cover here is I changed this to be the nickname. Let me just go, I'm just going to run this the way it is. Let me just do everything all nicknames. So I'll just say, a lot of people will put their first initial, last name, R. Hudek, and I'll say algebra 1. Now all these things I'm going to do triple click, 1 2 3 click, right? And I'm going to 1 2 3 click, and that's going to be 2, 1 2 3 click, and that's going to be 3. Now I'm going to hit save. All right, so now I'm just doing 100% nicknames. All right, now remember, nicknames are unique to an organization, so be careful with nicknames, because people may not be able to come in if they're outside the organization. Also, nicknames, the nickname itself, the name doesn't change, but it points to a different URL. Every session, after you're done, it expires very quickly, and then when you fire it up again, you get a brand new URL, so it's possible you can miss each other. So just be careful, be aware of what's going on with nicknames, okay? Now, let me just go ahead and run this thing and show you how it works. A lot of people, they will first run their classes by going to Google Classroom. You could do that, and I want to show you it's a little bit, just one small step you have to do. So let's just say you open it up here in Google Classroom. Just let the extension do, is it going to open? No, you go ahead and open it yourself. So you're in, it actually does tell you that is your nickname, so you're doing fine. Okay, great. Now, you see this right here, it says meet dash, it doesn't say main, it's supposed to say main, right? So what you do is you go to start class and you just click this again. So this is an open/sync, okay? If you open it within the extension, it's automatically synced. If you open it outside the extension, you need to sync it. So we'll just click on that, and away you go. It's synced, and it says main here. Now sometimes people will click on this, and you'll see those balls, and they just keep bouncing forever. If that's the case, I don't know. Sometimes the extension's a little bit squirrely. So what you do is I would just refresh it, maybe close it and start it again. There's just a million different combinations of things that can happen. But if you see the balls just bouncing forever, go ahead and stop it, refresh it. One other thing you can do is you can go to here in Windows in the extension page, and let's see what we got here. So what you could do is just turn it off and turn it on again. Turn it off and turn it on again. And that's fine. You should not, when you do that, you shouldn't see any data loss. It's kind of like just rebooting, like a Control-Alt-Delete for the extension. It doesn't delete your data. All right, so let's see what else here. So I talked about this. Oh, so I opened up the class. Okay, so that's fine. I cannot use the incognito mode to demonstrate this, the nicknames. Why? Because incognito people are not inside this organization. It has to have that email. But you understand how this thing works because I demonstrated it with the incognito mode. All right, so it works the same way with nicknames, but they have to have the same email. They have to have accounts all within that same organization. Let's say school. All right, so here we go, and then I'll go ahead and open up everything. You don't have to open up all your breakouts. You can create like 10 breakouts and just say, today I'm just going to have 3 breakouts. All right, so we'll click here, double click, we're all good. And then I'm going to do the retile. All right, very good. All right, one thing I want to show you, let's see, I finished everything I wanted to show on the Meet tab. I finished everything I wanted to show you on the Rooms tab, except for one thing. This is the export. Normally I say if you're going to do export, you export through the Courses tab. And you export through the Courses tab, this exports your entire data from the extension. It's a very, very small file. If you open it up, you can see, oh, it's weird. It's a lot of technical stuff. Don't worry about it. It's just a text file. It's very small. You can upload it to your Google Drive or email it. Now, if you're going to have co-teachers, it's up to you. You can export your entire extension and give it to the co-teacher. I don't really recommend that because that would have additional courses that maybe the co-teacher's not teaching. So if you want to just send it to a co-teacher, I would send just this, and this will only send the rooms information for that one course. But then the co-teacher would have to create the course on their side. They would have to add the extension. They'd create the course on their side. Then they go to the Rooms tab, and then they would import that file that you would email them. Okay, you would email it to them. They would download it to their whatever folder they want, and then they would choose that file and then import it. Okay, so I know I went over this real fast, but I do have a video that goes over all how to do work with co-teachers. Okay, so next up is the Courses tab. I went over this. Last up is the settings. I showed you the examples here with the tiles, but you could also do tabs. And if you have a small computer and a lot of breakouts, tabs is probably the way to go. So let me just show you how that works. I'll just do Control W to close all that down, and then I'll open this up again, and then I'll say tabs. It's up to you how many tabs you want on a window. If you have more than 5, let's say, then you'll create a second window. But I'll just say, I'll keep it at 5. And I'll go here, and just out of convenience, I'm going to open up everything. When you do that, you'll see them all open as tabs. It works just as well. You can't see them all at the same time, but the slider works the same way. Because some of these might be buried, like you may have to click on that tab to get to that pop-up and answer that pop-up. Okay, but you can go through the different windows this way. So here we are on the main, and then let me go 1. All right, so there we go. You may have to click right arrow to get things started. Okay, so do the right arrow and the right arrow. You can click in the black spot and black space and the empty space. It'll jump to that spot as well. There's a little bit of a latency issue, so if you grab that yellow dot and you move it around, there's a possibility it can get out of sync. If it gets out of sync, just do a right arrow and a left arrow, and you should be in good shape. Oh, sorry, the speaker button automatically turned itself off. All right, so yeah, so it looks like we're doing a good job. I did notice sometimes that speaker button automatically turned itself off occasionally, so just be aware of that, okay? All right, so that covers the tab. And if you're curious, you can see color coding here, and you can see which one you're on. And it also tells you green means that you're displaying your video. Oh, green means that your microphone's on. C means that your camera's on. You don't have to memorize these. I'm just, letting you know. All right, and then this speaker button, you have an X if your speaker's off. All right, and normally you'd want your speaker off on all the other ones. All right, so let's go back to the settings tab. You can change the color of the tab, the bar down the bottom. Whatever you like, maybe. All right, it's up to you. And gradients, okay, it's fine. You can choose a background image. I won't go over that. And background image here too. I have this on for testing purposes, just out of convenience. Keep this off. I recommend keep this off. If you turn it on, you allow yourself to be Zoom bombed. I think that's probably a bad idea, but there are some examples where you might want that. Let's just say you're teaching students and they're all outside. They're all outside students, and maybe you're teaching adults, and you don't really care if somebody comes in because you have this report and you can see an interloper came in. All right, you can get rid of them. But anyway, if you're teaching children, don't do it. Keep that off. All right, so let's see. Automatically join meets. Yeah, okay. So this is not a big deal, but This extension will look to see when you call up a meet, is that meet in your list of rooms? In the Rooms tab, if it is, if you have this thing checked on, then you can automatically enter. It's not that big a deal. You can play around with it. It's pretty easy. All right, so this one's a little bit of a nuance here. And I have to say this, even though I got it in blue highlighted, this is only relevant for the purples. All right, so these purple. So I'm dealing with the greens here, so this checkbox is totally irrelevant. All right, so it's only relevant if you've got purple statics, the purples. All right, so if you have the purples in here, what that does is it will automatically at runtime, when you call up that room, it will regenerate itself. It'll create a brand new URL and open it up. That could be what you want. It could be not what you want. I think probably the more practical situation is for breakout rooms. You don't mind regenerating a brand new URL. If you automatically regenerate a new main room, that creates work for yourself, because then now you're going to have to go tell all your students, oh, guess what? The main room changed and so on. And you won't know that until you actually run it. Okay, so just play around with this if you're interested. But I think nicknames are really the way to go. However, nicknames are only relevant for people who have Google Suite. All right, so anyway, that's just basically what that is. Okay, so I didn't want to go too long. I do have some online help. Okay, it's for version 16.2. I haven't updated it for 16.5, but it's all largely the same. Okay, all right, so that's it. I tried to make this a lot faster. I saw the last one went over an hour. That's way too long. So thanks a lot for watching.